Yo, what's going on, Vikings.com? It's Paul Allen with Ben Leber, former Minnesota Vikings linebacker, one of our analysts for the Vikings Radio Network, and Gabe Henderson used to be a game-changing receiver at Liberty. That's a Division I football program, believe it or not. And now he operates at a very high level for the Vikings Entertainment Network. And operating at a high level requires a winning formula. The Vikings are taking on the winless Detroit Lions at Ford Field Sunday. Let's begin here. At this stage of the season, Mr. Nacho Lieber, are style points important for the Minnesota Vikings when it comes to winning games against certain teams? Or at this stage, when you're tired, man, just win? Like, what are you looking for?
Well, I think the key word there is certain teams.
Yeah.
I think that this is a team. Now, if we were talking about the Los Angeles Rams, which we will here in a couple of weeks, I would say just win.
Yeah.
Maybe the style points don't matter, but the teams that we quote unquote should beat, I think style points do matter. I think that we are on the cusp of urgency versus anxiety. You always have to play with the high sense of urgency, but we're at the point now where if we don't win convincingly against the team that we should beat, I think that urgency becomes anxiety, and I think that spells trouble for this team if we don't win convincingly. So I want this team to go out and win by at least a couple of touchdowns.
Yeah, the Vikings are favored in this game by a touchdown off just what he just said. I mean, they're supposed to win clearly.
Yeah, convincingly for sure. If you don't win convincingly, I think Vikings fans will have another anxiety attack. But at this point of the season, you have to start winning games, especially this, I think, in my opinion, by 10 points or more. Last time, we should have won by 10 or more, but we let that last drive come into effect on the last drive of the game for the Detroit Lions. And you've got to start winning games and putting your foot on these guys' throat and showing that we can be a playoff team.
Do you think this potentially can be a game, Ben, where you just air it out and you just go, and just put a lot of pressure on him because Kirk throws well deep. We got JJ and Thielen. Thielen's on fire. And just bam, early and just keep them down.
Yeah, I actually, a couple weeks ago, I thought, well, our identity is still run the football a little bit and kind of mix in some of this play action, this boot stuff, whatever. I still think you can get creative with it. At this point now, with Dalvin out for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we don't know yet. I think you start experimenting with some of the quick passing that we've seen the last couple of weeks. Make this a little bit more of a pass-first offense. And then from there, then you can open things up, spread things out, and then you get Alexander Mattison run the football. So, yeah, I think that I'd be happy to see a little bit of a different twist to this offense and see if we can air it out against this defense, which, look, they're very prideful about their secondary right now. They're feeling themselves. They're playing very well lately. They feel like they're much improved. I still think that we can attack them much like we've done in the last few weeks.
With the Detroit Lions, now they have a tie, but they have no victories. They almost put a fat L on us here at US Bank Stadium, but Cousins all over the field, and then Joseph walks off. Gabe, what is there to fear with the Detroit Lions? I mean, DeAndre Swift is not practicing. He has a bad shoulder, so if he plays, I'd be surprised. I think he's their best skill position guy. I like him more than TJ Hawkinson. What is there to fear with these Lions?
Their running game. The one thing that they do best is still run the ball. They're sixth in the NFL when it comes to yards per rush. Our running defense has given up 800 yards in the past 6 games. Ooh. So if I'm them, I'm saying, okay, we can still try to run the ball on this team. Granted, they've run the ball 81 times in their past 3 games and have lost by a combined 5. So there's kind of a way for them to try to win this game. They look at us as like, okay, well, this is the Vikings. We should be able to win this game. For us, we should say, okay, we got Michael Pierce. We got Dalvin Tomlinson possibly back this week, so we should be able to stop that run. But best believe they're going to try to get the ball on the ground at least 25 to 30 times against us on Sunday.
So you're telling us at Winning Formula that they're looking at us as a slump buster?
They looked at us like that the last time. We were 1-4, they were 0-5, and they were like, I think something along those lines. And they were basically, we were saying, okay, well, we got the Lions next week. We said that on Between the Lines post game that game, and Ben was like, well, they look at us like, well, we got to play the Minnesota Vikings too. Yeah. And I feel like they feel the same way this upcoming Sunday, playing against a team that is kind of injury depleted, still trying to figure their way out, 5-6, and trying to get into that playoff picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would say that because after the bye week, Dan Campbell took the play calling duties away from Anthony Lynn, and Anthony Lynn, poor guy, is kind of a lame duck on that coaching staff now, and was stripped of his play calling duties. But you look at the last 3 games, to Gabe's point, they've gone from 4.1 yards a rush before the bye into 5.8. Now, that's It's a small number, but that's a big difference in the running game. And it's a big difference in the way they attack teams. And they're going to look at our 30th ranked rush defense and say, that's their vulnerability. They haven't stopped anybody all year long. They have some injuries up front. Even if they get some guys back, those guys maybe not be 100%. It may not be fresh. So let's do what we do best at 5.8 yards a rush and hammer that 30th ranked rush defense. So I think we're going to get a heavy dose of run.
Let's give you a heavy dose of predictions, some of these wacky predictions that seemingly never work out for any of us. But we have a lot of fun when we offer it up to Vikings.com for a winning formula. And let's start with Gabe Henderson prediction. Vikings-Lions, what do you got?
Well, I think this guy will get his first rushing touchdown of the season this year. I'm not talking about Justin Jefferson, not Adam Thielen. I'm talking about Kene Wangu.
Hey.
I think Kene Wangu gets his first NFL rushing touchdown coming off of an Alexander Mattison long run, which is, I guess, allows him to check out of the game. Kene Wangu punches it in. We all celebrate. We all cheer, and the Vikings win.
I like that. By the way, during the Niners game, Nacho said this during the game call after Kene Wangu's first kick return, maybe, or second, when he was by the boundary. He should have had two. You're right. I mean, this Kene Wangu and these kick returns, holy cow, what do you got?
You know, I talked about, I think that this offense should be a little bit more of a pass-first priority. I know that they like their secondary. I know that they're feeling their corners. They get some back from injury, and they're going to rotate some guys in. But I think JJ is going to have a day.
Hey.
I think the way that he was frustrated after this last game against the 49ers, I watched him sit on the bench at the end of the game when all the guys are getting together, they're exchanging jerseys, pleasantries, talking to buddies, all this stuff at midfield. He sat there on the injury bench and just sat there with a pissed off look on his face, mad as all heck. Obviously mad about the way the game ended. He had possibly an opportunity to pick up that first down on fourth down. And I feel like he is due another big game. I think he's going to come out ready to go. I think he goes for over 200 yards on this improved secondary.
I have a new podcast. It's called Faith and Goal. You can find it via the free iHeartRadio app. And the guest this week was Adam Thielen. So via Detroit Divine Intervention, I'm putting Adam Thielen on 3 touchdowns in this game. That'll be the first time in his career he's had a 3-touchdown game. He's had a bunch of 2s, including last game. We're putting AT19 on 3 and a Minnesota Vikings victory in convincing fashion. Thank you for watching The Winning Formula. For Gabe Henderson and Ben Leber, I'm Paul Allen. Skol Vikings!